Amigos y amigas del deporte, bienvenidos nuevamente a nuestro programa producido por Kelvin Sánchez y nuestro auspiciador principal OG Sports Performance. Desde el otro lado de la cancha te habla Glorimar Ortega. Y ahora tengo el placer de tener a Shannon Torregrosa, una gran amiga. Jugamos juntas en la Selección Nacional y de verdad que hemos tenido experiencias únicas. Shannon, I want the people knows who is Shannon Torregrosa. And the story that you just told me out of camera, when you start to play volleyball, because people here in Puerto Rico, the kids, they are like 6, 7, oh, they're too old to start. I'm like, no, they're just babies.
Yeah. I only started playing volleyball in high school. My freshman year, I was 14 years old. My main sport was softball. I played softball since I was 10 years old, and that was my sport, and I was very good at it. But when I got to high school, it was either play a sport or do regular physical education, and no, mamita, I was not going to do that. It was like horrible. I was like, nope. So it was either volleyball or water polo, and I'm not going to go in the bathing suit when I was in high school. So volleyball it was.
So you started to play volleyball in high school. Then you have a scholarship, full scholarship in Arizona?
Yes. So I started playing, and I didn't play club immediately. I only played club my last 3 years of high school because my dad was a single parent.
Wow.
And he had 2 daughters. My sister also played. And club, it's nothing compared to what club cost in the States right now, but it was still very expensive at that time. So we could only afford to play the last 3 years. And my dad was working snack bar, making boxes for hitting and stuff for volleyball. So, yes, I, played in tournaments and obviously had lots of offers from different schools. And I liked Arizona. It was close enough for my dad to still come watch. And it was an amazing school to play at Arizona in Tucson.
And how much was club there? Like your father had to make a lot of sacrifices to afford it?
Yeah, so club back when I was, in high school was around $2,500. So
no.
$2,500 for a top team. Obviously, we didn't go to as many qualifiers as we go. No, I coach club now, so we go to, for a top team, as many as 3 to 5 qualifiers a season.
Wow.
And the Triple Crown, which isn't a qualifier, but the Sunshine qualifier, Southern California the Crossroads.
So it's 25,000 including that.
No, 2,500
per month.
2,000, sí.
But it will be like 25,000 per 10 months, no?
No, so it was 2,500 divided by, club back then was shorter, probably like 4 months.
It was only 4 months.
4 months, yeah, depending on which level you were, on your team.
I thought it would be like 10 months. No. Like here in Puerto Rico, the clubs are since August to May.
No,
so
and the rule is depending on the state you're in, you cannot play club and high school at the same time. It's against the rules.
¿Escucharon eso? En Estados Unidos, dependiendo del estado que estás, si estás jugando en high school voleibol, no puedes jugar club. Why they do that? I mean, I know, but
yeah,
to the fans and parents that they're listening to us.
Well, obviously in the States, if you live in a certain neighborhood, you're bounded to go to a certain school.
Okay.
Obviously, there's exceptions. If you're brand new into that state, you can choice into any school. So parents do their research and be like, okay, Brandeis, which won Texas State last year, Brandeis won last year. We're going to move into the area where Brandeis is so we can go to that school for volleyball. That's one exception. I work at a private school. I work at Cornerstone Christian School. So anybody can go there. There's no restrictions. You can live 20 miles away, 50 miles away. It does not matter. You can go to that school because it's a private school. Obviously, private school means you have to pay money to go to that school. But, and you don't want people to get hurt. There's not enough time for the athlete to do high school. There's traveling during your high school season. It would be too much. You would literally burn out your player playing that much.
Ella está mencionando que aparte de que en el voleibol en Estados Unidos se juega por regiones, hay algunas reglas que, ¿verdad? Que eso presenta. También los jugadores y jugadoras hay que cuidarlas. O sea, te puedes quemar, te puedes lesionar y en Estados Unidos es así. O sea que lo que existe con nosotros en categorías menores aquí en Puerto Rico, que juegas colegio, que juegas liga toda la semana, eso allá no existe.
No. And for me, you know, I think it's more rare now that I hear coaches like, okay, club starting, you can't play basketball, you can't run track, you can't do this, you need to be here 24/7 for club. And for me, I played 3 sports in high school. I played club volleyball.
You were having fun.
And I played softball, travel softball during the summer. So I personally believe you find the best athletes play multiple sports. You can tell the athletes that play multiple sports that, you know, like, yeah, maybe your senior year, you're going to focus on volleyball, you know, but I hear they don't have enough time or it's too hard, or, I mean, I believe in, you don't have to lift every day. If you play other sports.
And you have time. You have this month to play volleyball, you can play this month to play basketball, you have this month to play baseball.
Yeah, exactly. I love that athletes play different sports, you know, and if you get a scholarship in volleyball or football or whatever, you know, whatever you want, that's great. But you find the well-rounded players play multiple sports, and it's very frowned upon now, and I don't like that. I don't, you know, it's different now. But
Shannon, so you graduated from Arizona. You start to play first with the national team, and then you play pro here?
I think it actually combined it into the same. My grandpa, how he explained it to me, because, you know, that's from my grandparents are from here. He said that one of his brothers was working within the federation. So that's how they found out about me. And actually, the first time I had contact with anybody, Shayla Lopez came to Arizona to watch me play a game. And I forgot where Shayla went to college in the States, but she came and said, "Hey, I'm Shayla. I heard about you. They said that you hit like a guy." So that's the first actually person I remember from you know, anyone in Puerto Rico, you know, saying.
Wow, it was in 2003 too?
In 2002, I got done with my actual year playing in Arizona. And then what I would do is, my West picked me up in Orlando Lugo, and I would go for the break for Christmas for school. So I would go for the 3 weeks, because remember back then, season started before Christmas.
In January, yeah.
Well, back then it started, preseason started before Christmas. And then after Christmas, we started season.
Yeah, before we used to do preseason in October, November. Now, no, we start 2 weeks before the season.
So I would go and play, and I would maybe play in one official game, and then I would have to come back to school. And then they asked me if I wanted to come train with the national team, and then that's when we met. Exactly. You know, you, Audi, Jarlene, Eva, Jessa.
Esa es la vieja guardia, que todavía estamos dando cantazos por ahí.
You know, so that's how that started. And then obviously when I got done with my actual playing, I would take a fall off from school to come play the whole season here with Mayagüez, and that's how my career started here.
Wow. So you played 10 years with Mayagüez?
I started in 2002. 2002 I got done. 2003, because we rolled over the year. And yes, I started with them. And then I played with them until I tore my ACL in 2006.
I remember.
With the national team.
I remember.
Before, antes de Japón.
Before,
yeah. So in a prueba, don't know why we're doing a prueba before we left for Japan.
I remember.
But that, and then I was with Mayagüez recuperating, and, you know, June would come every day and help me recover. You know, he was the best. He still is the best. Yeah. And then the Orlando Lugo said, you know, I'm not going to pay you your full salary, obviously, but I'll pay you to help be like a manager.
Okay.
So that was nice. I would still be able to be with the team and recuperate. That was about 6 months after my surgery. And then I think he sold the team because it's been a while since.
In 2010?
2008, I want to say.
Okay.
Because then I went to play in Romania for that year.
I remember.
Yeah. The level of play was awesome, but I never got paid. So I decided to stop during the Christmas break there. And then that's when I got pregnant, because I, you know, went to go see my husband at that time, Nevaeh's dad. He was playing in France. And then I took that year off again, obviously, for Nevaeh being born. That September, I realized I got traded to Catania.
I remember. And then you won a championship.
Yeah, and in 2012, we won a championship. with that team, we had Pressy, we had Courtney Thompson, Jen and Jessica Jones, Nino, Tati, Debra. So that's the team we won with.
Then you went to the Europa.
No.
Went to that trip?
No, I don't remember. It all blends together. It's been so long. But, you know.
You made a trip to play in Europe, I think.
No, the only time I was there was for playing in Romania.
Okay.
And that was
I said the Cataños team.
Oh, the World Championship. No, we went to Qatar.
Qatar, exactly.
Yeah, we went to Qatar.
And you won there?
It was okay. We didn't have our full team because Courtney couldn't come. I think the only one that could come was Jessica Jones because Pressy couldn't come. I think she was actually pregnant at that time. She got pregnant after season maybe. But it was just we had to pick up players from different teams. So it wasn't our team, but I mean it was an experience. But there were good teams there, yeah. But
so then after Cataño?
After Cataño, I think Orlando's son, wanted to rebuy the team back or help in some capacity. So he called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come back to my West?" I go, "Claro, sí." Of course I do. He's like, "Okay, we're gonna get you to come back." So then I went back to my West, and I was with them until last year. They moved the team to Ponce, which was great. I mean, I like playing in Ponce, but you know, nothing's the same as playing in my West, though. It's just different. But Ponce was awesome as well. You know, but and then obviously like, this year,
living in a place almost for 10 years, it's like almost your home. So nothing compares.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few different players, but you know, we still had the same owners. Aleman still had the team, but you know, it was in a different city. But I mean, the Ponce was awesome still. You know, like but like you said, it's nothing I've been like in my West for that many years.
So this year you start with Naranjito, and I think it's the first year you got traded in the middle of the season.
Yes.
To Manatí.
Yes.
And you play because the season is in summer. You have compromised. You're a coach. You have your job in the U.S. Are you planning to come back next year?
We will see. You know, this season was it was kind of like a blur because I went through a lot of personal things the end of last year, and then it's different. You know, for me, I've never been a player that gets hopped around to teams. So for me, it was, you know, I'm going to be me. It doesn't matter. But, you know, being with completely new girls, you know, except for Nicole. Nicole, he was in Ponce last year and in my West a couple years. It's just different. And then, you know, it's a different owner. You know, we had Javier in the beginning. You know, I was used to Javier because we had him the last couple years.
It's true. So you change coaches, you change team.
And for me, it was just like things were not growing great already with me. And then to start off the season like that, and then to add on to that being traded, I'm like, you know, I was saying, was this the wrong decision to come back and play this year? You know, like.
Yeah, sometimes we can't control the end, but we can control what we can. So, and last year, ¿tú perdiste el papá de Navia in the middle of the season, or how was it?
Yeah, so we were still married legally, but you know, we were separated for about 1.5 years. Still great friends. Obviously, yeah. But yeah, he suddenly passed away in October last year. So, you know, coming off of a great season, I felt with Ponce, we had, you know, a great season. You know, we had some things happen at the end, but, you know, and right when I come back from season, I'm full throttle into my coaching at the high school. You know, like right now, when I leave Monday, I have high school camp. So I don't, you know, there's no break for me. You know, it's always volleyball coaching and stuff like that. He passed away in October. And then a week after that, his sister passed away from COVID pneumonia.
Oh my God.
So emotionally, physically, I was already drained. It was, I really didn't want to go back again because it was Sunday and then I went back home and then I went back again that weekend for my sister-in-law's funeral. And then a week after that, Nevaeh was in the ICU for a week. because she had it's called MISC. It's a reaction to COVID that they find some children are getting.
Okay.
So she was in the hospital, the ICU, not the hospital, the ICU for a week. So
ICU es intensivo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was in there for a week. She lost 25 pounds. What it does is it was an inflammation of your organs, and the organ that was affected was her heart. Luckily, thank the Lord, they didn't cause any damage to her heart because it was a mild case of it.
¿Eso fue la vacuna o el COVID?
No, she didn't. She wasn't. So her birthday is in September. She didn't turn 12 yet. She caught COVID the week of her birthday.
Wow.
But I almost didn't know. She had no symptoms. I didn't feel anything. I had COVID about a year before, but I didn't feel anything. So I actually took her in because she had to get a refill on her inhaler. And they're like, okay, well,
wow.
Let's test her because we're testing everybody. At that time, they're testing everybody. And they're like, she's positive. I'm like, I'm not positive. Like, what? That's weird, but then, and I think it's because of what had happened with her dad and everything. Her immune system was just
down.
Yeah. So she caught that. And then that's when I personally just went downhill. Like, my sister's like, you need to eat. I wasn't eating because obviously I didn't, I was in the hospital with Nevaeh and I wasn't eating. Mentally, I was just drained everything. Like, it was bad, like to the point where like I was like, stuff was going on with my body. Like, I'm having like heart palpitations, like something's wrong with me. I'm going to die, but, so I went through just a lot, and I was trying to stay strong, obviously, because Nevaeh, so I wasn't taking care of myself properly and having to still work. Obviously wow. my school gave me time off, but I had to get back to work and do all this, and I didn't have a lot of time to train like I did last year. I would play sand almost every weekend before last season I came, and it was just it was a lot. So,
and everything, this was in 1 month. You were living this in 1 month.
The whole month of October. Yeah.
Wow. And then after everything on December, you have to be here in Puerto Rico for pre-season for Ponce, no?
No. So this season, that's when I found out that Ponce wasn't going to have a team this year.
Okay.
And so we went into the draft, and that's when I found out that Naranjito picked me up. And he asked me, are you going to play this season? And I go, I have to get back to you. I don't know. And I don't think a lot of people knew what happened. Maybe a couple, a few close friends, because I know I put one post on social media. I didn't really want to So, wow. I don't think everybody knew what had happened, but, I said, I'll let you know, because he wanted me there in May. And I go, I work at a school. I can't leave until the end of May. Well, we don't, this was January.
Who knows? But
who knows? You know how it is here. The season is going to start in April. No, the season's going to start in May. No, the end. Yeah. So I'd never know. You know how it is. So, but when he said officially our first game, and I saw the schedule and it was the 21st, I go, okay, I gotta, I have days that I can use for vacation. And lucky that I'm a coach and our season's basically done. I was able to leave a week early from school.
Wow. Shannon, entonces ya me mencionaste de que el año que viene no se sabe por las fechas, the dates, if you can come or not. ¿Se te quedó algo por cumplir como jugadora? Do you miss something to achieve as a player?
No, I think that, being able to play until you're 40 is an achievement by itself. I've been blessed to be able to have my body still, be able to play, And I was talking to Audi about that. I go, we look tired. And she's like, no. I go, yes. But, I don't know. Like I said, this year I was on the bridge of coming or not, just because my physical state, I know it wasn't as great as I would like it to be. And of course, I've always want to end on a good note, not meaning to win a championship, but at least, feeling like, okay,
exactly.
I played well and this is where I want to end. So, I mean, it just depends. We'll see.
And as a coach, do you have any goals?
I love coaching. I mean, I played volleyball for so long. I know volleyball like the back of my hand. All I do, that's my job. I coach. I coach, at JV at my high school. I coach club. I do camps during the summer when I'm not here.
College one day, university, NCAA or something?
Yeah, I was actually offered to coach a couple of years ago, but Nevaeh was too young, and I would have no one to help me to watch her. So, because
nice.
with college, you're flying every other weekend to go play at school or driving in a bus. So
a lot of sacrifice. People sometimes think that as a player, it's we suffer, we cry, but as a coach, I think it's harder because it's more mentally than physically.
Yeah.
Because as a player, you sleep, you take massage, and it's okay. But as a coach, there's no way, there's no massage, there's no sleeping. You can sleep. You're thinking about 12, 15 players, what they need, what I need to do to make them happy.
Or why didn't I do this? And I should have done that, yeah.
Wow. So Shannon, thank you very much for receiving us.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best. She's leaving soon to US. So I hope to see you next year, finishing hard like you want.
Yes.
Así que amigos fanáticos del deporte, espero que les haya encantado esta entrevista con nuestra querendona Shannon Torregrosa, que bastante que nos dio a la Selección Nacional de Puerto Rico, a sus diferentes clubes, porque ya hoy día muchas jugadoras jugamos en muchos equipos, así que suscríbase a nuestro canal de YouTube y síganos Desde el Otro Lado de la Cancha.